Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Moss-Cast with me, Jinz Moss. And that music you heard just there is by my good buddy Bad Math. Go and check him out, Badmath. He's just given me the intro and outro music for the Moss-Cast. Very grateful. Go and check him out. And onwards. Oh my god. Another eventful period between I think between each podcast something fucking my life's always pretty up and down. There's always something going on. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what off the wagon is or on the wagon is, but I don't know what a fucking wagon has got to do with me getting disgraceful on the sofa. But basically, I got a bit disgraceful the other day. I had a bad morning. And it was sort of one of those sort of compound mental fractures where shit had been bubbling up for a few days. I woke up, threw my toys out of the pram, went to the supermarket, bought 20 pack of cigarettes, bunch of beers, grabbed a handful of ganj, and what else? Got a McDonald's and some 2-minute noodles, and went all the way fucking inwards for about 6 hours or something like that. But I couldn't get very far because my stomach started basically rejecting everything. So yeah, I didn't get anywhere near finishing the cigarettes. I nearly finished the beers, but did not quite. Yeah, I felt like dog shit. I let the horses off the chain. I let them roam around the paddock and fuck each other with their big horsey cocks. And that's what happened. And I burnt everything at the end of the night, all ceremonially. Like smoked a couple of blunts, and then just sort of burnt everything at the end of the night. The rest of the cigarettes, a couple of leaves, ganja leaves, ganja leaves. Just put it all to bed. And I'd actually decided before the end of the night that the next day I was gonna redeem myself and run 10k. I'd stopped running. I'd stopped running because I busted my foot, but I was like, look, your foot's kind of busted, but let's just run on it anyway. So the next day I got up and I dilly-dallied a little bit. I didn't get straight up out of bed. I done about an hour's worth of procrastinating, and then was like, right, yeah, let's go. So then ran 10k in a pretty good time, about 52 minutes. I think I had, what was it? My average time per kilometre. People keep saying this is quite fast. It was 4 minutes 48 per kilometre. And people keep saying that's quite fast, but I don't know. It didn't seem that fast to me. Humble brag. Humble brag. But anyway, so it's been a few days, 3 or 4 days since then, and haven't turned back to anything. I did get like nicotine cravings and shit, but I was just like, nah, I'm not doing that. So yeah, if someone can fucking tell me what this wagon stuff is, I mean, I could probably fucking Google it, but I just can't be bothered. on the wagon, off the wagon, and even like why that's a phrase. Like, I'm dyslexic. I can't on, off. It's just the same thing to me. Like on the wagon, off the wagon. I always forget. So I've been told multiple times, and I forget again and again and again. So maybe it's more my memory than the effectiveness of the phrase, because everyone else seems to have it down pat, but not me. Yes. So the podcast has been doing all right. I got a fucking everyone's been saying nice things to me about it, which is not how things went with with music, you know. And I posted that shit up. Fucking hell. Yeah, fucking people going, this is fucking trash. This is fucking trash. People go in, man. Especially when I was doing like covers of like, if I'd use a beat, like the Flatbush Zombies beat I went over. Fucking hell, some of the Flatbush Zombies fans gave me fucking hell for that shit, man. But I guess this isn't really covering anything. It's just me, so yeah, it's been doing all right. I got a notification that it had a couple hundred downloads. I thought that was really good, considering I haven't done many episodes. I ain't a professional podcaster or anything. This is my first crack at this shit. Definitely a kind of a semi-professional shit talker, so maybe that helps. And I remember right at the beginning when I was rapping, not being happy with people not real. I wanted everyone to be as happy with what I was making as I was. And you must have heard a lot of times rappers saying like, they weren't down when I was coming up, but now they all wanna support me. Keep the same energy. Keep the same energy, son. No one supported you when you were coming up, probably because you were shit. Like, I was shit, and no one's gonna support you when you haven't proved anything. Everyone wants recognition before they've fucking achieved anything. It's like, believe in me before I've proved anything. It's not, nah. No one's gonna fucking believe in you before you've fucking done something. And then it's like, you ain't believing me then, and we keep the same energy. Nah, I won't keep the same energy, because now you've done something and actually sort of proved that you're decent and that, then yeah, I'll actually begin to support you when you prove that you're worth supporting. I'm not gonna fucking support you when you're fucking... Do you know that fucking... Oh, man. I hate so many phrases in fucking... Keep the same energy. Who the fuck comes out with that shit? And then who repeats it? If you're one of those people that hears it... and then just repeats that shit... in the same fucking cadence you heard it, and it's just... Oh, man, you fucking parrot. Fuck's sake. Keep the same energy, son. Anyway... But I used to be like that when I was right at the beginning. I used to want everyone to have the same enthusiasm about my crap music that I had. And it takes humbling experiences to wash that out of you. And I've had a fair share of humbling experiences. Oh, believe me, I've had my fair share, and I've got a lot to come, and I welcome them, because every time you get humbled, it's like humiliation, analysis, and then usually agree with the consensus on yourself. Or with why you why you felt humiliated or whatever, you know. I mean, when I first released a mixtape, my first mixtape I released, we set up This was with my mate Reese. We set up a little shindig mixtape release party. Not a listening party, which I will talk about on this. A release party. And no one fucking turned up. The only people that turned up, we tried promoting it and we tried putting the word out. Come to the release party. No. And then the only people there were the artists. And a little piece of my... I was going to say a little piece of my heart broke, which it kind of did, but at the same time, maybe that wasn't my heart. Maybe that was my big, fat, stupid ego that dissolved. Part of that dissolved at that point when I see an empty room, and this project that I thought was fucking great, and I'm gonna kill all the rappers in the game with this shit. Yeah, son. Yeah, fucking. Nah, you ain't, mate. Nah, you fucking ain't. You ain't even killing a room full of people with this shit, man. Killing the whole game. It's so funny. It's so fucking funny. You know, I've dropped some pretty unsuccessful projects, and every single time, I have thought that the project is going to do way bigger numbers and way more, and think that it's gonna fucking change the game with this shit, son. Fucking nah, nah. You ain't changing the game with shit. And yeah, every time it's humbled me, and I've come out of it with a more balanced view and a more realistic view of what I've actually produced, not of where I can get. You know, it's not like I'm trying to say like don't dream and don't have goals and shit, but it's good to be fully aware of where you're currently at, because then you can actually see how far you are close to your goal. But if you've got an unrealistic view of where you're actually at, because it's you, and you want you to do good, and you want you to believe that you're 2 steps away from fucking $1 million or whatever the fuck it is, then you're just fooling yourself. So it's good. It's good to get fucking humbled. And people that know me from back in those days when I was a less humble man and more of a pissed up idiot, they know a very different person if I haven't seen them in however many years. Because I was that dude who was hammered drunk outside the show, trying to fucking rap, trying to battle people, you know, outside a show I was not on the bill for. Turn up to other people's shows, battling outside, lose the battle, get mad. Lose the battle, get mad, wake up, embarrassment. So that was a mix of catastrophic ego and alcohol. and a belief that my skill set was much more advanced than it really was. And do you know, it brings me to think, it's like thinking this stuff over makes me realize that humiliation is healthy for someone. I can't say it's healthy all across the board because everyone's different, but for someone whose ego is out of line, or someone who believes they're further on than they are, humiliation is one hell of a cure. And you know, it's hard. It's once you're humiliated or like just heavily embarrassed, it's like your ego can't. There's parts of your ego that can't survive there. You can't pretend to be that cool geezer. You can't pretend to be that cool person. You know, let me just put it like this. I went on holiday to Greece once, to an island called Zakynthos. Or we call it, the English call it Zante. And there was a place there called Laganas, which holiday goers and some holiday magazines and stuff. No, I don't think holiday magazines actually, just holiday goers, mostly fucking idiot blokes like myself, named Slaganas, because there was a lot of girls there who were DTF and drunk and whatever. You know, it was I can't even. Yeah, I don't even want to dive into that too much, but that's where we went, and I ended up getting fucking hammered there, and I came back from that holiday with a tramp stamp. And that tramp stamp, I ended up in a tattoo shop, fucked out my head. And the worst thing about this is like I kind of chose that. Like I'd led down on the tattoo thing and said, I'll just stick it on my back or whatever. I don't know what I can't really remember what led me to get it put at the bottom of my back, but I fucking got it put there, and it was I picked a panther out of this book, what I thought looked like a panther at the time, because my nickname was Panther. For various other reasons I'll go into on some other fucking podcast episode. So my nickname at the time was Panther. And I decided to get a fucking panther tramp stamped on my back. In the tramp stamp position. And I wake up the next morning, fuck all recollection of getting this shit. And it doesn't really look like a panther. It looks like a fucking Lonsdale sign. If you know the brand Lonsdale, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cheap brand as well. It's not like a Gucci tattoo. Like, I basically got like Umbro. Do you know? It's like what? Do you know? I got fucking Asics tattooed as a tramp stamp, basically at the bottom of my fucking. I got Adidas 2-stripe, man. You know, you know, it only takes 2 ticks. Polyfiller. You know, I got that grade of fucking sportswear tattooed at the bottom of my fucking back. You can't pretend to be cool after that. There's parts of your ego that die forever after that. You cannot survive. You can't. I know that. That's tattooed on me. That is an unbelievably bad decision made by me. Like, you can't. There's so many humiliating things that I've gone through, or I've put myself through. You know, I'm not the victim of these things. I've victimized myself. I'm the attacker and the victim. Like, I remember when I was performing, I was in Sydney, and I was performing at, I think it was the Oxford Arts Factory. It was one of the one mic shows, and there was it was either a cypher or it might not have even been that show anyway. But there was a show in Sydney, and I'd got fucking blind drunk, and I'd started to make a habit of getting fucked out my face and getting on stage. And I thought I'd done really, really, really well that night. Thought I was the fucking, thought I was the fucking man. And the next morning, my mate goes, "So how do you think you did last night?" Shout out to Reese, by the way. Nah, fucking shout out to Reese, man. I needed this shit. Yeah, so he goes, "How do you think you did last night?" And he videoed this, my set, or my fucking 10 minutes on stage or whatever it was. I was like, "Yeah, mate, I had a fucking great time." He's like, "Watch this." Show me the video, and you couldn't understand what I was saying. It was like the worst rap performance ever. It was fucking abysmal. It was it was so fucking bad. It was so bad that the anxiety of watching the video was like an alien creeping down into my stomach and fucking with me. Like it like pierced the embarrassment and humiliation of seeing that. And just also I could see the crowd. I could see the crowd in the video, and they were just bemused watching this fucking bumbling drunk idiot up on stage. And that's fucking, I think it's really helpful. And I think people that that's so fucked saying that that's helpful. It was helpful to me. It was helpful to kill that ego, that rampant ego that was going on in me, that I just thought I was the mutt's nuts no matter what I did. And I feel like there's some people that never get that, and that they need that or something. You know, some people that never go through that humiliation never get to see themselves from that third person perspective. And you know, it's like, before being humiliated like that, and before being so embarrassed and seeing myself in these like really fucked up negative lights, I'd always think that I was, you know, when you before you leave the house to go out on a night out or whatever, you take one last look in the mirror, and you fucking look in the mirror and you pull this face. We all do it. I'm sure we all do it. You pull this face, which is your mirror face, and maybe it's one eyebrow slightly up or whatever it fucking is, and you've got your hair done, and you look in the mirror one last time before you go out, snap your fingers or whatever and go, "Yeah, man, looking sharp," and you fucking head out. And that's the image that you carry of yourself for the rest of the evening. And sometimes we carry that image of ourselves for our entire like lives or whatever, you know, our all day, every day. That's how we think of ourselves, as this sharp looking person, like fucking sort of half like semi flawless person or whatever. And that's not the fucking case. Sometimes we are a big floppy, deflated, dribbly dick. Excuse the image. But it's, you know, sometimes you're not that fucking, you're not Fonzie, man. Yeah, I mean, fucking hell, I could go on. I don't know. Do we need more? Maybe I save. I mean, I've got more. I've got so many stories. I've got bullet points of stories written down here. I haven't even got through half of the humiliating stories. But I just checked, and we've been going for fucking 20 minutes, and I don't want to make these too long. So maybe we'll save. If there is a great big yearning, like I said, hit the fucking for more of these embarrassing stories. Maybe we can make this a section, because I have ample embarrassing stories about myself that I'm 100% willing to reveal. I've told him 1,000 times. I do not mind telling them. I think they're funny. I can look at them like they're a different you know, I can look at them from a third person perspective. It's fine by me. Yeah. So I think what I'm trying to say, I mean, it gives you a bit of power as well. Being it kind of, once you get humiliated again and again and again and again, and you humiliate yourself again and again and again and again, you start becoming a little bit bulletproof, and you start becoming a little bit shameless in a good way, and you start being able to see stupid shit you do way before anyone else can see it. And then you start being able to address the stupid shit that you do, which then makes people laugh. And that's one of the main things that I thought, because people, like, I don't want to fucking blow my own trumpet, but people tell me like I'm funny. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, and one of the reasons why I started doing stand up, because people go, "You're funny, you should do stand up." Da da da. And I think one of the reasons why I can see things before other people, or look or have certain perspectives, is because of this humiliation. It's because of repetitive humiliation and embarrassment. And that's not always been people laughing at me, or like, you know, it's been, yeah, like a sort of humiliated myself. I don't want to come across as a victim in this. Like, this isn't a fucking victim thing. Like, yeah, it's just repetitive humiliation gets you to the point where you just become really fucking self-aware. And it comes with other shit. It comes with self-esteem issues and other stuff that, you know, you can battle on. But it does give you a strength. It does give you this thick skin and this bulletproof skin that helps being funny, and helps, like, you know, I've heard people say that I'm impossible to insult. and it's, in some respects, it's kind of true, because I'll get there before you. I'll take your weapons off you, and then I'll make you laugh at me with me. But that was always that it got to the point where it's like, all right, if I'm a bit stupid, and I do stupid shit, and people laughing at me all the time, and it fucking hurts. So let's just get your head around that. You do some stupid shit. Okay, well, let's just start preparing. let's work out a way to fucking turn this. So I mean, it wasn't like that, like a eureka moment, but it's just over time. I just started working it in my favor, and now I can work it in my favour, and not only can I see my stupid behaviour before other people can see it, and I can address it, or maybe they see it but don't want to address it, or whatever. And I you know, bring it to address the elephant in the room, which causes relief and laughter and shit. But I can spot other people's behaviour maybe slightly before. And there's still a lot of areas in my behaviour that I'm not aware of, but I will also address that. Like, I've still got a shadow, you know. There's still a lot of shit that I do that I ain't got fucking no clue. But I do believe I'm very slightly more aware than your average John, your average Joe, your average Steve. Yeah, that's it on humiliation for the minute, I think. I knew this podcast episode was going to be slightly different. I wasn't quite. This podcast episode hasn't been quite set up punch like the. You know, I've sort of knew I had some dead set jokes in the other ones, whereas this stuff is possibly funny but also a little bit sad. I don't know. We'll see how it gets received. I'll move on to the headlines now, which will also be quite a short section, because searching for these headlines, fine-tooth combing through 98% coronavirus headlines has not been. It's just getting fucking ridiculous. I think I need to try and find something other than news to report, because there's so much not funny stuff happening right now that it's just, to find the funny stuff is fucking depressing. But one thing I did find that was quite funny was, and this isn't a headline, but this is a consensus, is Ellen's a cunt. Ellen's a cunt. It's Ellen DeGeneres, the woman with the TV show, gives everyone free shit, who's worth $350 million, is a cunt. Not an all-round bad person, but a bit of a cunt. And why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? She's got her own fucking TV show. That's like one of the biggest shows, and she's just giving people free shit. And do you know how much, when you're worth that much money and you're like the face of this TV show, do you know how many yes people you're going to have around you? Yes, Ellen. Yes, Ellen. Yes, Ellen. That's going to turn you into a cunt. Maybe it's like, you'd have to fight. You're gonna have to fight some demons to not become a cunt when you're in that chat. And maybe she just didn't fight him, and she just went with it and went wee, and then she fucking landed in the cunt pool. I mean, there's stories coming out. Here's one of them. So, one person has claimed she has, in inverted commas, a sensitive nose. So everyone must chew gum from a bowl outside her office before talking to her. And if she thinks you smell that day, you have to go home and have a shower. What is she? Part fucking Doberman? And what about everyone? So if everyone else is like, nah, mate, you don't smell. But if Ellen thinks you smell, you have to go home. What if, how far? Do you know, that's just humiliating. Like, if you fucking, what if you live like an hour away or whatever? It's like, yeah, you got to fucking go home and shower because I think you smell because my nose is sensitive. And it's like, what, your nose is the truth of all noses, is it? Maybe you got something in your fucking nose, you cunt. Oh my God, what a cunty thing to do. And it just makes perfect sense. Of course, that's one of, I've heard that she has like 52 fucking items on her rider, and every single one of them's like the holy grail, just impossible to find. And if she doesn't get it, she just kicks off, and then she barely uses any of it. Like, cunty behaviour 101. You know, who needs all that shit and then you're just not going to use it, and if they don't turn up with it, you throw a fit. It's just that's the product of yes men. That is an absolute product of everyone saying yes to you. That's like the world's, that not your parents turned you into a brat. Everyone around you said yes and turned you into an ultimate cunty little brat. Ugh, fucking hell, man. I fucking can't stand that Hollywood behaviour. That shit is fucking disgusting. Anyway, another wrote, I was PAing for the Letterman special, and oh yeah, here we go, there he is. 50 items on her rider. One was specific cauliflower puffs, vegan cauliflower puffs that are rarely sold anywhere. So I had to drive to 15 different grocery stores to find it. She didn't even touch them. A third person. I was her agent's exec assistant for a year. So many. First thing you learn on the desk is if he was on call with if she was on call with another client, you have to beep in, say, your kid's on the other line, it's emergency, so he could take the call, as she could never be called back because she would fire him. Oh, shit. Right, so this is about her assistant. So her assistant would have to make up crazy excuses and say like it was her kid. She's just like completely not understanding. Not understanding fucking that people have their own fucking lives. And then this is the thing that topped it off. This is a statement from Ellen. The first day I said, the one thing I want is everyone here to be happy and proud of where they work. And if not, don't work here. No one is going to raise their voice or not be grateful. That's the rule to this day. Like, that could be perceived as a real positive, and you can see she's tried to word it positively, but I mean, I can read straight through that shit. Like, want everyone to be happy and proud of where they work. If not, don't work here. Instantly, dogmatic, ultimatums. If not, don't work here. You know, it's like, if you're not grateful to fucking be here, then don't work here. And it's like, right, so obviously, I mean, you're probably earning quite a lot of money if you're working for Ellen, so kind of fair enough in that respect. But how many things are you going to have to put up with, like showering if she's got some fucking, like driving home and having to take a shower and be humiliated, like you're the stinky one today? Fucking hell. How many things are you going to have to fucking put up with to get that dough? It's just not fucking worth it. I don't fucking never want to work, and I'd never want to work fucking in that Hollywood, that bullshit Hollywood environment. No one's going to raise their voice or not be grateful. It's just like, no one speaks out. That's what I'm reading from that. You either put up or shut up. It's just like my way or the highway. That's what I read from that. But she's put the word grateful in there, and no one's going to raise their voice. So well worded, love, well worded, but you're a cunt. You've slid all the way down the fucking cunt ladder into the fucking cunt pool. For me, like, I've fucking seen fucking clips of her show before, man. I can fucking smell that shit. Ugh. Ellen. Climb off your fucking horse, love. And what else have we got? Donald Trump tweets 100 times in a day. I mean, that's the only thing I read about that, but that's the president of the United States, and he's got the time to tweet 100 times in a day. He's definitely, I mean, he's been swimming in the cunt pool for a long time. I think he's got a rubber ring and fucking Lilo down there in the cunt pool, just fucking having a whale of a time. He's splashing everyone that comes down the slide like, yeah. He's the cunt in the cunt pool. Do you know what I mean? He's that absolute cunt. He's such a cunt. Well, I think that's long enough for this episode. I got no idea how this one's gone. It's been a weird day. So, yeah, we'll see. But much love to everyone listening, and I hope got something out of this. And yeah, yet again, the Moss-Cast@gmail.com. Any questions? Anything you'd like to, just anything? Any questions? Anything you'd like to like me to talk about? This isn't a fucking massive podcast, so if you send me an email, I'll read it. Don't think like, oh, I'm not going to send it to him because he can. Nah, I'll read it. Believe me, you'll probably get in the fucking podcast. Whatever you fucking send me, we'll probably get in. So, yeah, much love, and I'll see you next time.